Hello and welcome. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell button, the bell icon, so that whenever there's an update, you get to hear about it. Today, we're discussing a topic which is very important. Today, we're talking about how to guard your heart for success. How to guard your heart for success. Do you know people who they've made such an amount of success and all of a sudden something happens and they just misbehave, they act a fool? To dissect this topic, we're going to be looking at a verse in the Bible, which is Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 1. It says, as dead flies bring a stench to the perfumer's oil, so little folly outweighs wisdom and honor. Just a little folly can outweigh wisdom and honor. So, after reading that, you might want to ask, how did the dead fly get into the perfumer's ointment in the first place? They say a dead fly makes the perfumer's ointment stench. But how did the dead fly get into the perfumer's ointment in the first place? The perfumers are seen to be very careful set of people, mixing and mixing different things with in different proportions to get the desired fragrance they seek. They examine their end product rigorously to make to make sure that it has the right smell and the right appearance. Perfumers are very, very careful people. They have to measure everything. They know which measure should go into where. So with all this, how come there's a dead fly in a perfumer's ointment? For a fly to enter a perfumer's room, it means he forgot to shut the window or he forgot to shut the door. That was negligence. For the fly to perch in the perfumer in the perfume to the point that it dies means the fly was there for a while and it was not noticed by the perfumer for lack of assessment. Okay? Negligence and lack of assessment. First, he was negligent to have left his doors open, and now that he didn't even have time to even assess his product, a fly got into it and it even died. So now the fly represents a foul thought. You, yes, you are the perfumer, and the perfumer's room is your mind, is your the perfumer's room or the container of the perfume is your mind. So the smell are the words or deeds that come out. That stench we're talking about is the smell or the deeds that come out of you, your results. Okay? So let's dissect this also. When you forget to shut the doors to your mind and put a filter, any and every thought is allowed. When you consume everything, when you're not careful about the content you consume, then the results begin to show. Okay, the stench begins to show. When it starts to smell, it means you've been consuming the wrong amount of content. You've opened your door of your mind to everything and anything. You have to be selective about what you watch, what you listen to, what you see, what you hear. Okay? So how do you close or at least put a filter or a net to the door or window to your perfume room, which is your mind? How do you do that? You must be very aware and sensitive to the things you watch, read, and hear. Those are the doors and windows to your mind. What are the things you watch on a daily basis? What are the things you hear on a daily basis? What are the things you read on a daily basis? Those are what affect you in the end. So you let a small fly in, and boom, your whole reputation is ruined. Even though it may not happen immediately, takes time, you know. Just as he said, the fly, it's because it stays there for a while. That's why it died in it. There was no attention given to what was in your mind. So that thought came in and it dwelt in your mind to the extent that it begins to stand. Just 1 minute of listening to a negative report, 1 minute of watching porn, 1 minute of gossip, 1 minute of mindless TV, and a fly is in. And once that fly is in, it starts perching in your mind. It dies in your mind. It's bring now after a while, you get the stench. So once the fly gets in, we still have the opportunity to chase it out. So a fly gets into the room, you have that opportunity to chase the fly out. You know, once it gets into the room, you know that a fly has gotten into the room. Okay. Sometimes you cannot help it. There are some things you see, you hear, you come across that by accident you come across it, but you must have this counsel culture in your mind. Once you see something that negates the precepts of God in your mind, once you see something that negates the standard that God has set in, you cancel. So you can only replace foul thoughts with productive ones, with positive ones. Once a foul thought enters your head, replace it immediately with a positive thought. Once you notice you have let a fly in, replace it immediately with thoughts that edify, thoughts that nourish, thoughts that build, thoughts that give joy, thoughts that that takes you to a point of happiness, positivity. Okay, so sometimes you have to walk away from some conversations. There's need for you to walk away from some conversations sometimes. Conversations that seem to lead nowhere, conversations that don't seem to build but to destroy. Same goes for books, novels, music. Okay, things that when you pick up a book and all you get is uh, anger, all you get is negative thoughts from that book, you know that you need to walk away from that book. You need to drop that book. That book is not adding to you, it is only destroying you. Okay, so if the fly has been let in and has been allowed to perch, some parts of the perfume has to be removed from the room. So if a fly has been let in and it has gotten to the point where it is perching on the perfume, you have to remove the fly and then remove some part of the perfume. Or sometimes you even have to throw the perfume away and make a new one. So if the fly has been allowed long enough to die and decay in the perfume, the whole batch have to be thrown away. So it gets to a point where if the fly was not noticed, if the foul thought was not noticed, and it got into the perfume, it perched there, it wasn't noticed, it died there, it wasn't noticed, and you now notice it while it's dead and it's about to start thinking, you that whole batch has to be thrown away. Okay, you have that's where deliverance comes. Sometimes there are some things that some points of darkness and ill thoughts that get into the minds of somebody, that it's only deliverance that can save that soul. Okay, so so act like a so acting like a fool when one has been respected for wisdom and honor doesn't happen in an instance. This is a process that leads to such. So analyze your thoughts. Analyze all thoughts that gets into your mind, that gets into your head, that gets into your thinking faculty. Thoughts don't just come from thin air. They come from what we let in. Keep out the flies and stay blessed. So I hope that this blesses you. Stay blessed, and we'll see on the next episode. And if you feel that you are blessed by this and you would like other people to be blessed by this, please feel free to share this video with as many as possible. Let's get the word out. Let's get positive thinking out there. See you on the next episode. Bye bye.